Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Today we're back with PR expert and former fashion television judge, model, and advertisement photographer, Todd Anthony Tyler. Hey, Todd, welcome back.
Hey, Sophia, thanks for having me.
Sure, thanks for joining us. Sure, Todd, thanks for joining us. So today I want to talk all about writing a winning PR, plus a little bit about distribution strategy with you. So, Todd, what would you say are the key components of a strong press release for a book launch?
I think one of the initial things, honestly, is taking a look at what kind of budget that you're dealing with. Uh, when we have people wanting us to write up the press release and send it out, they don't realize that sending it out on those various platforms that you can put press releases on comes with various price points, and no doubt the higher amount or fee cost, generally you're going to get much more exposure on your press release. So right there, I tell a lot of people, if you're considering the press release in the first place, let's talk about the budget that you have. If you don't really feel like you have a budget for that press release to go out, at least 500 US dollars, I almost suggest that it might not be worth your time in that way, just because it's not going to get picked up, unfortunately. Definitely, you
Right.
could use it in your cold emails or when you're reaching out to people. I mean, a press release is a good snapshot of what your book's about, who you're about. So no doubt there is some value into just having a press release. But if you're looking at, I'm going to use this press release to really promote and market my book or myself, I think the first thing you have to look at is, yeah, I need to afford a relatively good budget to put it out on those platforms.
Right,
After
right.
that, then they're obviously looking at the content. And in general, like anything in advertising or whatnot, anything that comes in threes generally is a good way to go. So you think about three key points that you want to establish in that press release. Outside of that, of course, you're looking at what market you're targeting. Are you doing a global market? Are you doing the American market, Canadian market? Who are you trying to target with your book? And then outside of geographical, of course, you're also speaking about what people are going to read your book. Is it a fantasy book? Is it a instructional type book? What kind of book are we trying to sell and promote? So once you've kind of considered your audience, then you're also going to start to base what you're writing about, because you're targeting and you're wording towards that audience. So again, the three key points, maybe a little bit background about who the author is and why the author wrote this book, what the book is about, where the book's going to be available, generally three key points, and then putting it into a form of wording that targets the audience of the individual that you want to appeal to this book. That's something to consider, because, obviously, if it's a little dry, maybe that's not going to appeal to more creative people that you're trying to reach out to. So it's
Mm.
a really big consideration, the wording as well. And then, like I said from the start, I would just really highly suggest you save up a little bit of money to have that budget to put it out on one of the better and the bigger reach platforms.
Right. Now, speaking of the writing and just coming up with a clever way to attract media attention, do you have any examples or ideas for the right angle or the right hook to capture that attention?
So I go back to again because it's difficult. I sort of commented earlier. That's why you have that exploratory first call, Zoom call message from what we do from the PR and marketing side of things. Is we really have to establish a number of things. Again, one of those bigger things being what specifically the geographical market is and what specifically the type of person that you're reaching out to. So then from there, you're going to develop a hook based on those two main things, because you're going to reach people with different types of hook. If you're going to have like a question type hook, or are you going to have a challenging type hook, or are you going to have like a reverse negative type idea that catches people's attention? That really depends again on what kind of book we're trying to promote. It again, fantasy, romance, instructional. There's all different approaches that you're going to take. That's just why I'm saying it in that way, because it's a little bit general, because you really need to once again dial down on who your audience is that you're trying to approach, and also simply geographically, they say Canada, US is going to be a general similar approach, but maybe a British environment or French or European or Asian audience, that's going to be a different approach and a different style of hook wording that you would use in that case as well.
Now, when would you say is the best time to send out a press release before a book launch? And should there be follow-ups?
Absolutely, yeah. Best time to send out a press release minimally 30 days before, I would say. Minimally, I would kind of go with 2 months before, because you want to have time for that. 60 days, you want to have time for that to get around, get people to pick it up. If you budgeted and spent the money to get it on the bigger platforms, have it circulate, have then people obviously on that press release, or maybe it's not obvious, but people should have a contact point on that press release. So when you're doing 60 days, minimally 30 days out before the book launch, you're having time for people to be contacting, emailing you, and seeing that press release, and you generating more interest before the actual launch.
And who, in your opinion, should authors target when distributing a press release? Traditional media, bloggers, or niche publications?
Yeah, that's a good point on who people should be targeting for their press release, for the book launch. So the first point, you're going to definitely be wanting to get into traditional media. There's no doubt there's still strength and power in traditional media. And then you have various platforms that you can set up the press release on and get it pushed out to literally thousands of traditional media there. But once you've gone past that, because in my opinion, that is a little bit almost out of your control. You're just putting it out there, paying the money to put it out there, and hoping somebody picks it up. So again, we kind of touched on this earlier. Hopefully the hook gets somebody interested. It gets into the right traditional medias for the right audience for your book. There's a lot of hopes there. And so you're putting it out with those hopes maybe not coming to fruition. But more controllable actually is going to bloggers and then say influencers on their socials. And definitely bloggers like micro influencers, they tend to have a more close audience, an audience that listens to what they say more intently, really more friends. So that word of mouth that you can get out about your book with bloggers is definitely valuable. And then again, going back into the social media ends of things, people will put up, even in stories, something about your book with your press release. It still gives you more coverage. And if you've paid somebody to do your press release, you're just maximizing the use of that press release.
Now, on the topic of using tools to effectively distribute press releases to ensure maximum visibility and reach, are there any tools that you recommend using?
So I guess in part, tools that you might be speaking about is anything that you use artificial intelligence. I think that may be the part of the question there. And absolutely everyone these days is using Claude AI or ChatGPT to help polish their wording if it's something that they're doing themselves. Outside of that, the main tools are for traditional media in particular is various platforms. I don't want to just name one, of course, but there's various platforms where you just pretty much Google press release and you'll come up with 4 or 5 of the platforms, which range from around $100 to $900 to get your press release set out on. If you're looking for bloggers, then there's sites like, again, I hesitate to use names, but like Heapsy is just one example where you can, it's something subscription wise, a tool that you need to pay for, but you can use that to search and find influencers that might be specifically in your demographic or interest of your book.
Well, Todd, thank you so much. That was wonderful insight on writing a winning PR and distribution strategy.
Thank you for having me, Sophia.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to today's interview with PR expert and former fashion television judge, model, and advertisement photographer, Todd Anthony Tyler. Be sure to check out our website for more videos. Wishing you all a fulfilling and successful writing journey.